Hey everyone, Jacob Mast here. Now it's been some time since I've posted a video, but I wanted to do something else before the end of the year. So today we're going to talk about two things. The first is the channel as a whole, and the second is, well, how to make a photograph that looks like this. And that said, if you want to go ahead and skip straight to the tutorial, well, I can't read that clock from this angle, but whatever that says, just fast forward to that, you'll be good. Alright, so when I started this channel earlier in the year, didn't really know much about what I was going to be doing. Figured I was going to do some photography stuff, figured I was going to do a couple other things, but I didn't really have much of a direction into how I wanted this in this channel. And if you look at my videos now, well, it shows. In fact, I know, looking back at it, they all kind of suck. It's just miscellaneous projects and car videos, and that this is supposed to be a photography channel. At least that's what the title says. So, I did try a couple of times to fix that. And actually, a couple months ago, I got on a plane, flew out to Red Rock Canyon, just outside of Las Vegas, and I was going to do some landscape stuff there. But I hated the video. Yeah, it was a decent trip, and I got some good pictures, but I don't know, for some reason I chose to start the video off like this. Hey everyone, Jacob Mast here. I'm gonna take a nap. You watch the new intro. So any video that starts out like that, well, it kind of sucks. And that's just because I was focused more on, oh, I have to push out a new video, I have to put something out. And I didn't focus as much on what I was putting out. And that's about to change. So if you're a new subscriber, first, welcome. And second, know that in the future, I may not be doing daily updates, I may not be doing weekly, may not even be doing monthly updates. But when I do post a video, it's going to be a little bit more finished, a little bit more refined than what I've been doing in the past. So expect good stuff in the future. If you're not a subscriber yet, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button now, because I can guarantee you 2019 we have some good stuff coming along the way. That's a Shelby GT350, a car I plan on buying in the next few months. But if I'm getting that, kind of need to make some room in the garage first, which means I need to sell the Jeep. Now, Jurassic Park was filmed right down the street from me, taking the Jeep there a couple of times, and it's not just the Jeep I'm selling, it's that entire Jurassic experience. And that needs to come across in my photos. So that's what we're going to do today. We'll go out, take a couple of pictures that look kind of like this. Actually, that's the finished product. I'll be showing you how I did that today. So, let's go. I'm shooting here with the Nikon D750, 16 to 35 millimeter lens. I want that nice wide angle that I just can't get with the other lenses I have. Can't go too wide, but we want to be able to see the road, we want to be able to see the scenery behind it, and obviously we want to see the Jeep. So that's why we're using this lens. It's a lot harder to shoot like this upside down. Alright, so we've got the first shot. So now let's move the Jeep and get the second. Okay, so now we have the same shot again without the Jeep, which means we have a perfect background plate to blur without making sure the Jeep's fuzzy. So we don't mess with any of the settings. We just start taking pictures. Alright, so now that we have these loaded on the computer, we can pick the best image, open it up in Photoshop, and begin to make our adjustments. Let's go ahead and flip this upside up. Alright, now we tweak all the usual settings, trying to make the image pop as much as possible. Nothing special here. Now the special part comes with a piece of software called VirtualRig Studio. If you're not familiar with this, it pretty much just makes it look like you have a camera rigged onto the outside of a vehicle. Alright, so you have all the settings on the left hand side and your basic toolbar at the top. If we click this red dot with pencil icon, this will not blur an area, and so we can set this as our vanishing point. Okay, so I'm not going to get into the concept of 3D perspective on a 2D image, but if you take each one of these red arrows and point them towards that red dot, you can start to see how the motion blur gives the image a look of depth. Okay, in real life these clouds would be too far away from the camera to blur, so we'll take a couple more red dots and freeze them in place. And so you can see some areas around the image where the blur is kind of wavy, so we'll add a few more lines around that to straighten it out, and there we go. Alright, so that doesn't look too bad, so we'll go through, render the image, and the next step is to add the Jeep. We'll go through and make our same type of adjustments we did earlier. Brightness, contrast, basic levels adjustment, sharpness, nothing that I wouldn't do to any other image. And hit open image, and there we go. Alright, so let's zoom in, grab the pen tool, and now we can start cutting out the vehicle. Now I use the pen tool in two passes. The first just goes around the vehicle, getting just the basic points set in place. The second is going to be the fine tuning to get everything just the way it needs to be. Okay, now that the image is closed, we can go ahead and make a selection. I usually do a feather of about 1 or 2 pixels, kind of blends it in just a little bit better, gets rid of that hard line a little bit, and just makes it look a little bit more realistic. And then we'll go through and do the same thing with the windows here. And the same with the lights up on top. And don't worry that it doesn't look perfect just right now. When we add the background back in, it's going to look a lot better. And now there's two things that make this still look fake. The first, and probably the most important, is the background's moving, but the wheels aren't. So let's fix that. Again, we'll go through and grab the pen tool and outline the actual tire treads itself, curving everything around nicely. And then up at the top, we'll go into the blur gallery and do path blur, and then we can actually make a line that goes in the direction that the wheels travel. Now if we grab a spin blur, alright, now that's one wheel. The same principles apply to the other ones. I'm not going to talk you through that. Alright, now you can still see some spots around the edge of the vehicle that just don't quite line up. Yeah, just have to go through and erase it. I'm sure there's better, faster ways of doing it, but you can never go wrong with just the basic eraser. So we'll go through, grab that real quick, and just slightly go around the edges. Removing all of those little artifacts. I'm going to do this around the entire vehicle. Alright, and again, I'm not going to go through the entire thing with you. You can see the basic principles. Just go around the entire vehicle, clean up any little areas that don't match, and it'll be good. Alright, so now the background plate did not have a vehicle shadow in it because there was no vehicle. And when we copied the Jeep over, we didn't include the shadow, so again, there is no shadow. And that kind of makes it look a little bit more fake. So let's go in and add that shadow. Then we'll grab then we'll go through and use the blur tool. Adjust the brush size, make it a little bit smaller with a low hardness. And then just go underneath the vehicle and just start tweaking. And that one's not doing a lot, so we'll go up here, we'll just, you can see it's making a small difference, but it's not making a large amount. So we'll go up here, we'll change the setting, I'll do that one. And again, we'll just keep making tweaks here and there until we get what we want. And then we come up here, we do the front of the Jeep. And there we go. Now we actually have a shadow in the Jeep, which makes it look like the Jeep's actually on that road. All we need now is a dinosaur. Alright, now this is a stock image I'm using that I got some time ago. I don't remember. You can easily go online and find your own image that you want. But if you notice it's looking the wrong way, we actually want it to be looking at the Jeep, growling at it just like it was in the movie. So we'll go through, we'll flip this horizontally, and we'll readjust it just like that. There, I think that should work. So that doesn't look too bad, but it's not perfect yet. So let's add a little bit of motion blur here to the foot. We'll add a small feather to this. And there we go. Alright, that's better, but we're still not there yet. We still can do more. Dinosaur still looks too much in focus compared to the Jeep and compared to the rest of the scenery. So, let's keep going. Now we're going to go through and we're going to cut the dinosaur into 2 different layers. So again, that's going to be a duplicate. So we're going to go through and select the head of this one. We're going to do an oval selection, that way it kind of meshes in with the neckline. And we'll go through and we'll select the Gaussian blur and we'll make it, yeah, that looks good. And then we'll go through and make a small selection around that neckline, feather that down. Again, we'll use that same 30 pixels that we had before for the foot. Hit delete, and now we have the same type of depth of field effect on the dinosaur that we have for the Jeep. Alright, now I've always liked browner dinosaurs for some reason. Maybe I'm just older like that, and that's what I grew up with. This one looks too green and vibrant. So we're going to go through, open up the hue and saturation, make our small little tweaks. Alright, so we'll go through, we'll duplicate the layer. Go back into hue saturation. Click this colorize checkbox and make it more of a brownish color. There we go. Now we come back into layers, change the blending mode to color. There it is. We go through, we adjust the opacity because we just want this to be subtle. We don't want this to be anywhere near as strong as what that is by default. And there. That looks pretty good. Now we just need to go through and fix this left side of the creature. Still just a little bit too bright. It doesn't blend in with the background. Because yeah, you have all those trees there. Need to darken the creature. So we'll go back, we'll grab the burn tool one more time, and just like we did with the shadow, we're just going to go over and darken that whole left edge. Just a little bit. And there. I like that. Now I have a dinosaur chasing the Jeep. I think that should sell well. Right, so let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this, if you want to see more stuff like it, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And until the next video, guys, have a happy New Year's.